All right, it's the Frank the Unicorn radio program. I'm your host, Frank the Unicorn. With me, as always, is Audrey. Welcome to the Reboot. This is episode
2. Episode 2.
Yes, well, for me, en français, the trois. So, anyway, we're happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And a lot going on the show today, a lot happening with the show. So just a few things to start out and mention. First and foremost, if you're looking at us on the website, you're either on the Shaper Art website or you're on the franktheunicorn.com website. What you will notice on the front page of the Shaper Art website is there are several updates that I have been putting in there. First and foremost is that Audrey and I do have another podcast that we do. It's the Not Another Real Estate podcast. You can find that at notanotherrealestatepodcast.com. Hopefully you'll get over there and take a listen. That is for folks who have interest in the real estate market and the goings on in that market. So, in that industry. In addition, I have an upcoming art show. So, as people may not be aware, I am also a painter.
An artiste.
I am an artist. I am a painter. And we'll have my work. Again, if you're on the website, you see that. You can see my work on the website. And you can even buy certain products based on those paintings, if you would, and be inclined to do so. But also, I have an upcoming art show. It's going to be April 7th. It's a Thursday night. It will be at Hook Hall in D.C. It's right off Georgia Avenue in D.C. It's a great location, great place, and a great show. And yes, it is all-you-can-eat pancakes.
I love pancakes.
Well, this is the place to be. So you go. It's all-you-can-eat pancakes.
I have maple syrup with rum.
Wow, that's fantastic. You should bring that to the show.
Cool.
I'm thinking we're going to be doing some videos there.
Okay.
For both podcasts, both Frank and also for Another Real Estate Podcast. So,
okay.
Anyway, what I would like for you to do, if you would like to win a free postcard-sized print of any of your favorite paintings, all you need to do is, and I will go ahead and sign that for you as well, be signed. You can check out the available options on the website, and then all you need to do is go to our YouTube channel. It's on the Shaper Art YouTube channel. That's where we're putting all these broadcasts for Frank the Unicorn. Just go ahead, like the video and subscribe, or like any video on there and subscribe, and you will get yourself, send me a DM, you'll get yourself a fancy, nice postcard print of any of my paintings. And I'll go ahead, like I said, hand signed. I'll sign that for you as well. In addition, on the YouTube channel, we've updated and started putting in the archives of the previous Frank the Unicorn radio program. Those are 2-hour-long shows. They're pretty meaty, but they're also quite entertaining and fun. I happen to obviously be a big fan of them because, I was doing that show. So those are also available. Hopefully you get to check that out. We're going to jump right into it, and we'll get right into Haiku Pop. Last week on the show, we discussed Chris Farley.
Who we both love.
We discussed Farley, we discussed Swayze, we discussed all our favorites. But specifically the challenge was, one of the things we talked about was doing haiku for Chris Farley, right? Writing haiku about Chris Farley. So I wrote a few haiku about Chris Farley.
I love that. Yay.
Yes. Now, these are a little more emotional and not quite as hilarious and funny as the other types of haiku that I do.
It's like an ode to Chris Farley.
Well, it's literally my tribute to Chris Farley, which, 25 years after his death. But I do have several haiku to read. So here we go with Haiku Pop for Chris Farley. So first, a tribute to Chris. The world could use you right now to make us all laugh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Again, these are a little more emotional and touching.
I like that one.
Beloved comic. He was the sun in the room for all who knew him.
Oh.
Every time you hear anyone that knew Chris Farley talk about him, that's what they say. They say it was like he was like the sunshine walking in the room, and he just lit up.
That's awesome.
Everybody, yeah. A comic genius, vulnerable and loving to touch all our hearts. Again, to sort of respond to our discussion about the Chippendales skit on SNL, where I saw it as this incredible thing and that vulnerability that he had. just kind of a more positive take on that and,
Yeah.
and that side of him, right? Watching Chris Farley, rarely have I laughed so hard. We still feel his loss.
Aww.
Obviously, 25.
I like these. These are so sweet.
These are nice, right? These are sweet. 25 years on from his passing, and we're still talking about him. He's still every bit as funny and beautiful as he was in life. So we just want to pay our tribute. That was my tribute to Chris Farley.
I like that. Now I'm weepy.
Sorry, have I ruined the tone of the show?
Now you need a funny joke.
Well, we're gonna get into it because the other thing we talked about last week, and we're gonna have to probably spend a little more time on this segment. I don't know how this is gonna turn out.
Okay.
We can give it a shot.
Are we still doing streaming today?
No, because one, I'm ashamed of what I've been watching.
I'm ashamed too, but okay, I'm not ashamed. I just don't want to do any more true crime.
Well, what have you been watching? Have you been watching true crime stuff?
Yes.
Because there's the other discussion we had was about possibly recording a separate podcast.
I know, but I don't know enough about the Zodiac.
Well, again, it's not, that's just a whole discussion we could have.
I was watching something on Netflix, though. It was all about, like, how your neighbor, gosh, what is it called? The worst roommate ever. And, like, in the first episode, this woman, like, killed, like, all these people, and they found, like, 7 people buried in the backyard. So you don't want that person for a roommate. And then, like, just...
You don't want that person for anything. Roommate, limo driver,
yeah, so it's
Uber driver, Facebook friend. You don't want them
It's basically a whole show about, like, bad roommates.
You realize we're doing a comedy show, right? Like, that's when we're supposed to be funny around here. I know, after I saw this emotional stuff about Chris Farley, right?
I'm trying to think.
Wow, okay.
So I finished Golden Girls.
Okay.
Because I was streaming that on YouTube, or
Yeah.
not YouTube, on Hulu, and now I'm on Frasier.
Ah, okay.
So that was some good funny bits there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Frasier is a great modern example. It's probably the best modern example of the transatlantic accent, right? What, for those who are unaware, what that means is if you watch old movies, if you watch movies basically made before the anything made basically before the early 50s, okay, you go back, you watch movies made from talkies, right? From
talkies.
Well, because there were still silent films in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
So anything from the 20s, 30s, 40s, early 50s into the maybe the early 60s, everyone in movies had that strange way of talking where they would talk really fast and they would kind of drop their ahs and not say things, right? You know the voice, the one like this. How everyone in old movies used to talk all the time.
Talkies.
That's the transatlantic accent, you see?
Talkie.
That's the transatlantic accent, and it got phased out from film, and it lost popularity. It got phased out from film, but because we're all so familiar with it culturally, and this is one of the brilliant things that I love so much about Frasier and the character of Frasier Crane, is that Kelsey Grammer uses that transatlantic accent for that character.
Mm-hmm.
And so did David Hyde Pierce. He kind of matched and did the same thing. So they spoke with that weird transatlantic accent, which immediately in your mind, subconsciously for most people, makes you think, what a snob, right? Because it's like the snobby accent, right?
Yeah.
So it just, that show is so great. It's one of the best sitcoms of all time. I love the show Frasier. It is so smart.
I never watched it like on the reg, but like
it's hilarious.
I did, like when I lived with my dad years ago. Like he would watch Frasier, and I would watch an episode or two with him, and I'd be like, oh, this is really funny. So now I'm on to the Frasier thing. Yeah,
and again, it's funny just watching it and enjoying it, but it's really funny on a lot of levels.
You know,
I mean, it gets pretty deep.
I think I also have like a crush on David Hyde Pierce. I don't know why. No,
oh my!
Not my type.
Okay.
Usually, I'm like totally into like the masculine type.
Niles.
Yeah, Niles. Weird, right?
You could have been Maris.
No.
His invisible wife.
I could be Daphne.
Daphne. Okay.
Yes.
No,
Anyway.
You can't, because I had a crush on Daphne. So no, you can't be Daphne.
Okay, kidding.
Not going to work. All right. Well, I'm glad you've been watching quality programming, because I have not. I fell full in. I mean, we talked about it where I was watching these Dean Cameron movies, and I do think Dean Cameron makes great films, or made great films.
I think meh.
Okay. Well, we have different criteria for what makes a great movie, right?
We
because a lot of what I've been watching lately, and I've been hitting mostly Tubi, in terms of new streaming stuff, but I was watching a lot of the Full Moon. Did you ever watch any Full Moon features back in the day? They made a bunch of cheap horror movies. They made a ton of cheap horror movies.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I've been watching some of the cheap Full Moon productions, the horror movies that they were making, things like Evil Toons, right? Just basically, it's an excuse to have topless women in your film. That's pretty much it. Okay, and in fact, the movie Evil Toons that I watched, literally, there are 4 women in the movie who are like 4 stars, right? There's actually 5 women in the movie because Michelle Bauer makes a brief appearance where she, of course, is topless for some reason. But also has Dick Miller and David Carradine, which is fantastic. And in fact,
Not
it has
surprising.
a great...
They're kind of strange.
But it has a great scene, kind of strange. It has a great scene with Dick Miller where Dick Miller is watching himself. He's watching TV, and the TV that's playing is an episode of the Twilight Zone that he was on. And he makes a comment, I don't know why this guy never won an Oscar. And it's absolutely hilarious. The whole movie is worth watching just to watch Dick Miller watch himself on TV in a film. It's like Inception. It's fantastic. And Dick Miller is awesome and someone that we should all know and love. Although most people don't really know who that is, although they would know him when they see him, right? It's one of those actors. So, but yeah, if you have an opportunity to check out some full moon, cheesy horror movies, go for it, man. They're really comedies that are presented as horror movies because they're absolutely hilarious. They're just ridiculous. They're hilarious. And as an example, like I said, they're just pure exploitation. And the one I watched most recently with Evil Toons, there are 4 women in the cast, and literally 3 of the 4 were pornographic film stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew.
But they actually were really good. They actually gave good performances in the movie, in the film. You would think they'd be terrible.
Are you talking about the porn film
or
the regular film?
I'm talking about the movie Evil Toons. Okay. 3 of the 4 ladies that star in that movie have or previously did pornographic films, but again, they gave good performances in the movie Evil Toons. Like, they were competent actresses.
I mean, most porn stars, like, back in the day, didn't they want to be real actors and actresses?
Yeah. I think most of them now do. There's a really popular show apparently now called Euphoria, which I haven't seen, but I had a listener that I know pretty well who was asking me, oh, you should talk about that show, you should watch it, you should talk about it. The only thing I know about that show is that the lead actress on that show was, literally doing pornography a year ago.
Really?
So there's a transition. Wow. I think this is not
people
a subject I wanted.
People don't
well, I was going to say, this isn't really a subject we had planned on discussing today. But let's face it, it's much more acceptable in mainstream now. Okay, having a history of doing pornographic films or whatever is no longer a detriment to anyone having a mainstream career. Not really. Clearly. It used to be a killer. Like, that was it. You were never going to get a chance. But now, no one cares. Mm-hmm. I agree. No one cares. It doesn't matter. If you can do it, if you can... I nearly said if you can perform, you can perform, which is a really terrible thing to say about pornographic actresses. But you get what I'm saying. It's no longer the stigma that it used to have. So
yeah.
So that's a quick little recap of just some ideas of things to watch, things that we're watching.
Did you ever watch Elvira?
I love Elvira. I love Cassandra Peterson.
Do you know that she's a lesbian now?
Okay, yeah, I've known that for many years, many years. And there's a great story about her movie, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, 1988. Interestingly enough, in that film, there's a teenage male lead. So there's multiple male leads in that film. There's her love interest, who's a male lead, right, who's like the adult guy that Elvira is interested in. And then there's the group of kids that she's helping out, high school kids, right? And there was an actor who auditioned for the lead high school kid. No. This is a great story. And so this guy comes in, he auditions for the role of like lead high school kid in the Elvira movie. And Elvira literally writes on her script, like, holy moly, I chihuahua, wow, wow, wow. And she's like, that is the hottest man I've ever seen. There's no way you can cast him in the film. Because if you cast that guy, he's so attractive, he's so good looking, so charismatic, he's got it. But if you put him in this movie, not one person is going to believe that I would be attracted to the other guy. Not with the guy? Brad Pitt.
Oh, I was going to say, was it Brad Pitt?
It was Brad Pitt. So think about that. Back when, Brad Pitt's literally a nobody. has done nothing, has not appeared in anything. It's like one of his first auditions for a movie. And Cassandra Peterson is so sharp and, has it so right that she identifies that guy's the star. He is going to be huge. He is good looking. He's sexy. He's talented. He's got it all day long, to the point that they couldn't put him in the film because he would have made it unbelievable that she would be in love with anyone but him. That's amazing. That's amazing. I think that's a great story. I love that story. And I absolutely love Cassandra Peterson. I love Elvira. I think she's fantastic.
You were talking about like comedy
and she kept the car from the movie, by the way.
Very cool.
That car was custom made for her for that film, and she kept it, and she still drives it to this day.
Very cool.
And it's an awesome car. The Elvira car is amazing. It's one of the coolest cars. But it's like an unknown cool car. It's not like the Mystery Machine or the Batmobile. Everyone knows it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. Like,
it's under the radar.
It's kind of an underrated car. Yeah. All right, so we're going to try something a little different.
Okay.
Because we talked about the Recast podcast last week, right? Remember we discussed that? Yeah. And we said one of the things we were going to do, we wanted to take famous movies and put other people in the roles of those movies, right?
Yep.
This is something I actually did on the old show, but it was just more of like, who would you put in that movie? This is more of a like, we're going to actually do the script and we're going to do a scene from a film, but with different actors, different performers.
Cool.
Okay? And because it's the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion.
Second in mine. Which
is the only opinion that counts on this show. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I decided on Pulp Fiction, and I decided it would be really funny to do a scene of Pulp Fiction with Mickey Mouse as Jules, Goofy as Vincent Vega, right? And we know the scene we got to do.
Okay.
We got to do the scene where they go in and they get the briefcase.
Okay.
Okay. So I was going to say we could do the entire scene. That might be a little bit long. So we're going to fast forward it just a little bit. Okay.
So you're Jules, I'm Brett.
You're in this, yes, for this one, you're Brett. I am both Jules and Vincent. I have to do both these voices, right? So for those of you who are listening, if this turns out okay, and hopefully it does, then you should be impressed that I'm doing both these voices. Okay. I'm going to start with the hamburger stuff. Is that cool? I'm going to start right where Jules is talking about the hamburgers because that kind of leads into the rest of the scene.
Okay.
Right?
Am I Marvin and Roger too?
Well, Marvin and Roger don't really have much to say, but yes, you're anyone that's in this script.
But you're Jules and Vincent.
That's right. You're anyone in the script who is not Jules or Vincent. Okay, and let's hope we can get this looking good. So you're going to start out. I'm going to actually have you start with that top line there for Brett. We're going to do this read through. Let's see if we can get it.
Okay, so I'm Brett saying this to Jules.
Correct. And action.
Look, what's your name? I got his name's Vincent, but what's yours?
Oh, my name's Pip, and you ain't talking your way out of this shit.
I just want to know how... Oh, hold on, kidding. I just want you to know how sorry we are. Okay, hold on.
Can we restart? We're going to have to restart this. You got to know your lines. Ready?
Okay. And action.
Go.
Look, what's your name? I got his name's Vincent, but what's yours?
Oh, my name's Pip, and you aren't talking your ass out of this shit.
I just want you to know how sorry we are about how fucked up things got between us and Mr. Wallace. When we entered into this thing, we only had the best intentions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue. I believe you were saying something about best intentions? What's the matter? Huh? Oh, you were through anyway. Well, let me retort. Would you describe for me what Marcellus Wallace looks like? What country are you from?
What?
What? What ain't no country I know? Do they speak English and what?
What?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yes.
Good. Then you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good. Now describe to me what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
What?
Say what again? Come on, motherfucker. Say it again. Say what again? I double dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Now, describe to me what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
Well, he's black.
And
he's bald.
Does he look like a bitch?
What?
Does he look like a bitch?
No.
Then why did you try to fuck him like a bitch?
I didn't.
Yes, you did, Brett. Yes, you did. You tried to fuck him like a bitch. And Marcellus Wallace doesn't like being fucked by anybody except Mrs. Wallace. You read the Bible, Brett?
Yes.
Well, good, because there's a passage that I have memorized. Seems a little appropriate for the situation. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who would attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
That's good, dude. Sorry, that's not in the script. Kidding.
That's okay. And then there's a bunch of shooting and whatever. But I realized I picked a part where there's no Goofy. I picked a part where there's no Goofy. So
do you want to do another scene?
Yeah, we're gonna do another one.
Okay, and then Jules will still be Mickey Mouse.
Yes, Jules is still Mickey Mouse.
Marcellus will be Goofy.
Vincent is Goofy.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
And I'll be.
You'll be. All right, so I want to get to. Here we go. So we're gonna do another. That was good. But I wish
that scene with Samuel Jackson.
We should.
And I love it with Mickey.
Yeah, we should have.
It's a great scene. Doesn't matter who it is.
Well, it is one of the better. It's a great scene the way it's written.
Hold on. Next week we do it as Seinfeld.
Well, not Pulp Fiction. We'll have to pick a different script. I don't want to do the same script over and over.
I feel like we do Pulp Fiction script and you just do all the accents. All the
yeah, it's a little hard for me. All right, ready? Here we go. Okay, so this will be the famous scene that most people would recognize. They're like, okay, now tell me about the hash bars. Gosh, well, what do you want to know? Well, hash is legal there, right? Well, yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you can't just walk into a restaurant, roll up a joint, and start puffing away. You're only supposed to smoke in your home or certain designated places. Oh, those are the hash bars? Well, yeah, it breaks down like this. It's legal to buy it. It's legal to own it. Gosh, it's legal if you're the proprietor of a hash bar. You can sell it. It's even legal to carry it, which really doesn't mean anything because, get a load of this, if the cops stop you, it's illegal for them to search you. Yeah, searching you is a right the cops in Amsterdam don't have. Oh, well, boy, that did it. Man, I'm fucking going. That's all there is to it. No more fucking debate. I'm going. Well, you'll dig it the most. But you know what the funniest thing about Europe is? What? It's the little differences. A lot of the same shit we got here, except over there, it's just a little bit different. Can you give me an example? Well, sure. For example, in Amsterdam, you can buy a beer in a movie theater. And I don't mean in a paper cup either. Heck, they give you a glass of beer, just like in a bar. Back in Paris, you can buy beer at a McDonald's. Also, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese? No. They got the metric system there. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is. Well, what do they call it? Gosh, they call it a Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. What do they call a Big Mac? Well, a Big Mac's just a Big Mac, but they call it La Big Mac. Oh, La Big Mac. Wow. What do they call a Whopper? Oh, I don't know. I didn't go into Burger King. But you know what they put on French fries in Holland instead of ketchup? What? Mayonnaise. Really, that's not a big deal. I put mayonnaise on fries.
But you put mayonnaise and ketchup on fries. You swirl it around and you make it into like a little special sauce.
That's everyone's special sauce. It's not even special. It's just known.
I know.
It's not even a thing. But I also just use I'll eat regular mayonnaise on fries. I eat fries with mayonnaise.
But you're French.
Yes. Oui.
And this explains
Thus, episode 3.
Dos.
But anyway, all this is true. I've been to Amsterdam, and it is true that they do put mayonnaise on their French fries. And but what's actually more true is that they prefer herring to French fries. So
why?
Because they're Dutch.
The Dutch like herring?
Gosh, they sure do. They love that shit. Oh,
I
man.
thought that was really good.
I have to listen back to it. I think it came out okay.
Yeah.
I think it came out okay. I think for reading both parts and doing the voices back and forth at the same time, it was okay.
Yeah.
But I'll have to listen.
There was one time I think you were saying Royale, and it almost sounded like Norm Macdonald.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, Royale with cheese.
And then there was one part you were doing Goofy.
Now I gotta do the whole rest of the show as Mickey. Oh.
I'll do the rest of the show with Mickey.
I'm not going to do the rest of the show as Mickey.
I can't do Minnie.
I've got enough problems in my life without having Disney coming after me.
Oh, okay, you know? Kidding.
Which you would think that they would come after me for all the negative things I said about Star Wars last week.
Nah.
No?
They know it.
They're immune to criticism. They don't care. They got so much money. It's Disney.
Why do they care what you said?
Well, they don't. And just like everybody else, they don't care what I say. No one gives a shit.
I mean, no one gives a shit about what anybody says.
No, well, that's not true. That's not true. Apparently, you care about what Elon Musk says, which makes no sense.
I don't care about what Elon Musk says.
I just want to address the idea that...
I just said that he's an interesting character. He'd be fun to talk to in my real estate podcast.
Yes, he would. But for people, mostly because he would bring a bunch of weed, but who...
Elon Musk smokes weed?
Yeah, you didn't... He had that whole famous clip where he went on another podcast. I'm not going to say the name of it because he doesn't need me to promote him. But he went on someone else's podcast, smoked a giant, huge doob, and the Tesla stock price just plummeted.
Really?
Yeah, there was a big scandal.
I don't remember this. When was this?
Oh, heck yeah, man. Yeah, this was,
really?
I don't know, this is a couple of years ago. Whatever, I don't know. I don't track his movements daily like that weird kid that's been doing that, which is just odd.
Wait, is that weird kid tracking Elon or is he tracking Putin?
No, he's tracking Elon Musk's something. He said he would stop doing. He's tracking something on him, and he said he would stop doing it if he gave him a free car. I don't know what the end result of all that was, but that's one scenario where I would actually. News. That's one where I would actually. Who watches news? I read it online.
That's why I should read news online.
I will say this. That's one rare instance where I would actually side with Elon Musk and say this kid should stop, harassing him and leave him alone. I mean, just let the guy live his life, he's obviously got a bunch of stuff to do. Look, I don't care who you are. Even if you're Elon Musk, you shouldn't have someone tracking your movements daily. That's just not okay. That's not cool. But anyway. So yeah, I think I like the Recast Podcast segment. I think we're going to do more of it next week, and I'll bring out some more funny haiku next week because these are a lot more. These were just kind of emotional towards Chris Farley. It's a bit of an odd episode.
I love Chris Farley.
Everybody loves Chris Farley.
I like the haikus also.
Yeah.
They were really good.
This was just kind of a weird episode. I feel like the energy was a little bit down because of the daylight savings, which by the way is no more.
That's
right?
awesome.
That's fun. It was good.
Love it. It was totally screwing me up.
Yeah. at the end of the day, it'll be the only good thing Marco Rubio's ever done is to introduce a legislation to eliminate daylight savings time.
It was Marco Rubio?
Yeah. I
Really?
think Marco Rubio thought that daylight savings time was a liberal, and that's why he probably tried to get rid of it. But
I mean, it does kind of sound like a liberal.
It does. It does sound like something little Marco would do. All right, we're not a political show, so we'll just ignore that we said any of these things. Wait a minute. So, gosh, man, I thought you guys had a regular podcast that was supposed to be funny.
It was funny.
There's nothing funny about talking about that shit. What's funny is hearing Goofy say things like shit or motherfucker.
Wait, do Mickey.
Oh boy. Wow. See, here's the thing. There's two different kinds of Mickeys. There's older, laughier, classic Mickey, and then there's the newer Mickey voice. That Chris Diamantopoulos, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce it, it's some Greek name, but he does the cartoon voice more like this.
That one's creepy.
It's creepy, but it's really good, and if you haven't seen the new Mickey Mouse cartoons, I will say, man, I love the internet for this reason, because they hadn't really produced any actual original Mickey Mouse cartoons, like shorts, like funny shorts, since I think the 1950s was the last time they were doing those on the regular, that they were producing those regularly. But in the last few years, they've been doing new Mickey shorts, right? With Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald and Daisy. And they're really, really funny. I mean, they're really good. The animation style is really unusual. It's more of like a sort of in between 1930s Art Deco style. Really, really interesting animation, flat animation style. But it really actually works, and it works for what they're doing with the characters. And those are some really, really great shorts. They're available on Disney Plus. You can watch them on Disney Plus. You can watch them on the Disney YouTube channel. And I'm not normally the guy that's going to be promoting Disney or any of that, but they're legit good, animated comedy shorts. And Chris, apologies to you that I can't pronounce your last name, but he's got a good Mickey voice.
Cool.
He's got a really good Mickey voice. I have to say that because the Mickey voice that I'm doing now is basically the voice he's doing. Because again, you'll notice it when you watch the show, or if you watch the show, which by the way, watch the show. It just has a little bit of different tone and timbre than the classic Mickey voice, which was always very high-pitched and laughy.
I like high-pitched and laughy Mickey.
Oh boy! Oh yeah, classic Mickey.
I like that.
But the new voice for Mickey has a little bit of an edge on it, and I think it sounds a little better. It's more contemporary for the character. So,
cool.
But anyway, I guess we're now past time, which is fine because it doesn't matter. Whatever. So anyway, that's the show for this week.
Yay.
But again, please follow us online at Frank the Unicorn. You can visit us online on the website shaperart.com. Please.
Go visit on April 7th.
Oh yeah, April 7th, Pancakes and Booze, the Pancakes and Booze art show in DC at Hook Hall. So please come out. I'll be happy to see you there. And if you would please as well, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So we're trying to grow our subscriber base and kind of gain that traction, which is important. So,
cool.
Gosh. By the way, if you don't like and subscribe, it'd be a real, real shame if something were to happen to you.
Why does your Goofy sound so southern?
Because Goofy's real southern. Haven't you listened to a Goofy voice lately? This is how he talks.
It's been about 35 years.
Oh, yeah. No, that's Goofy, man. That's how he talks. Which, to me, again, the reason I wanted to do the Pulp Fiction Recast podcast with those two voices is Goofy sounds very threatening.
He does.
He sounds very threatening, but like in an innocent way, right? He's got that gosh, awfully nice family you got there. Be a real, real shame if something were to happen to him. Anyway, right. That's it for the Frank the Unicorn radio program reboot relaunch episode 3. And join us next week. Next Friday, we'll be putting up the episode 3. So, all right. Anyway, yeah.
We switched.
Yeah.
You were Spanish, I was French.
There you go. We'll see you next week. We won't see you, but we'll hear you.
Yeah.
We won't hear you. You'll hear us.
You'll hear us.